Why you do that to me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Thank you.
Charlie, microphone works, Charlie?
Mike, it looks like you got some guys back today. Dante, DY, Merriweather, all out there. Anticipate any of the three of those playing on Thursday?
Yeah, Dante's hamstring's feeling better. DY, his knee's feeling better. Merriweather, we felt like he made enough improvement in drill work to get a few reps. We try not to overdo it, but you could see how physical he was out there. It was nice to have him back in the lineup.
Do you anticipate any of them playing Thursday?
Which ones? Possibly. Yeah, we'll see how they are. I can't tell you for sure at this time.
Robert says that he's ready for more work and hopes to ramp up the activity regardless of what your guys' plan is.
Like I said, we've got a plan. We'll have a plan next week, and we'll give him a little bit more next week, and we'll see how he does. We're going to do this day by day and give him a little bit more freedom with each week that goes by, and hopefully, if there is no setback, he'll be ready for the first game.
He sounds like he's getting a little antsy. Is that something you like to see, though? Just the fact that he's champing at the bit, ready to go, or how would you prefer him to be?
Yeah, you always want your guys to be ready to go. You always want them a little bit antsy, but your job is to get them ready. I don't want to put them in there too quick for the obvious reasons, but I like what I've seen. He's had no swelling like we talked about last week. He's making a lot of progress. We're getting a lot of quality work done, and if he continues this with no setback, we'll keep on giving him more freedom, a little bit more reps, and hopefully get him ready.
Mike, normally we don't go into too much detail at this time about the preseason games, but because of the weirdness of your schedule, having a long break between games 1 and 2 and then like 3 in a week and a half, can you still go through your normal preseason routine of not playing at all in the fourth game, playing a lot in game 3, a little bit less in game 2? Or do you have to change that this preseason because of your schedule?
It's a little bit different. I mean, anytime you have a Monday night and a Saturday night game, your second game is a Monday night, then you have a short week with a Saturday game, which is normally the game that you prepare for with a game plan. That being a short week, it is a little bit different.
Will you still plan on doing it how you've done it every year we've covered you here, though, where nobody plays in the fourth game?
Well, I'll talk more about that in detail when we get a little bit closer to the fourth game. But anytime you have a Saturday game and a Thursday game, what you normally do is play guys that are fighting for a position. You normally don't play very many starters, if any, but you would like to have some of the guys that are fighting for a job show us what they can do.
How much of a daily battle is it, whether friendly or not, with Robert, to keep him from doing too much? Is it a constant conversation with him each day?
No, what you're trying to do is get quality work. And what you want Robert to do is go out there and execute the drill works that he's doing. Sometimes we're working quarterback keeps, sometimes just 3, 5, 7-step drops, different type of quarterback drills. Put a little pressure on his body, making sure that he's strong, make sure that you're not throwing too much at him. And then as he progresses, then you give him a little bit more work. But you always want guys, which we've talked about here, that want to play. And when you slow a guy down, that's the job of a head coach, to hopefully put him in a position where he's going to be healthy and ready to play by the first game. So you don't want to overdo it, but at the same time, we've got a plan, and hopefully we can execute that plan unless there's a setback.
I know you don't like to talk about what you're going to do with players in the preseason, especially your quarterbacks. But Kirk it's kind of an odd situation because Kirk is kind of, he's your starter for the preseason. He's also your second team guy. You're going to play Kirk strictly, the plan to play him strictly with the first team like you did with Robert last year, or might he go a little extra time and play with the second team?
Well, that's a good question. What we normally do is play our starters in the first game, anywhere from 10 to 15 plays, depending on what type of drive that you're having. Is it 3 and outs? You have a long drive, so it can go anywhere in that neighborhood. It is a unique situation with Kirk, but it's unique throughout the whole preseason. And like we talked about, we got a game plan, getting these guys ready. Kirk will play more in the second and third game than a normal starter would. We're going to give him a lot of reps. Not necessarily as much probably in this first game.
Mike, can we get an update on Jordan Reed? It looked like he turned an ankle, and also Reed Dowdy didn't look like he did a whole lot today.
Well, Jordan Reed, bruised the top of his foot. I can't tell you how serious it is at this point. We'll get it checked. We'll get it checked out, have an MRI on it, make sure he's okay. Reed was a little bit sore today. We decided not to practice him. He's a guy that will practice anytime that you want him to practice. He'll play anytime you want him to play. But I just thought in his best interest was to set him down for a day and let him heal up.
Mike, over here on your right. Mike, over here. Standing today. Robert suggested before that the scrutiny over the decision to leave that Seattle game, the playoff game, and the circumstances of that has kind of played a little bit into you letting him get back in and knowing the attention it's going to draw. Does that play at all in your minds?
Well, let me put it this way. We got Chris Thompson just came off an ACL. We got Brandon Merriweather just came off an ACL. Last year we had Hightower come off an ACL. I get a chance to see a lot of these guys. All these guys were approved by the doctors to play. Chris Thompson is not playing. He hasn't practiced for 3 days. Merriweather, you take a look at, he's been approved to practice. He's not playing. So as you look at him as a coach, even though they're approved to play, you can see if guys are moving and doing things the right way. So we have a game plan, regardless if a guy is full go and how he practices on the field. The good thing about Robert, he hasn't had any setback. We do have a plan for him. He may not always like that plan, but that's my job sometimes not to be liked. My job is to do the best thing for him, and that's what I'll do.
Mike, a guy like Santana, I don't think he's missed any practices so far this year. He did what you asked him to do last year, and it obviously paid off. What is it about him, his work ethic, his leadership, something that maybe isn't so obvious that sets him apart at this age so that he can continue to do what he does?
Well, last year and this year he lost a good 10 pounds. He decided to be in the best shape that he could possibly be in. He had a great off season, and you can see the dividends from being in great shape. He made a commitment that he was going to do everything he could to eat right and to come back in the best football shape that he's been in. You could see that a year ago. One of the reasons why he had a great year. And he's continued to do that this year. He's in excellent shape. You can see some of the plays he's made thus far in camp, that he's hungry and he's going to play at a very high level.
Dey Henderson, any reason he wasn't out there tonight?
Yes, he had a death in his immediate family. After talking to him and knowing the circumstances, I told him to go home this afternoon.
Just want to ask you about the read option game and kind of how it's going to evolve this year now that it's been in the league for a year, and what you do to maybe stay a step ahead of that.
Well, that's a good question. You really don't know what defenses are going to do. You can anticipate what they're going to do. And, people don't know when we're going to run the read option, but they're going to have to prepare for it all the time. And so if they can spend half their practice time preparing for something that we may do, we may not do, it gives us an advantage. The play action passes, the running game, I think you could see last year that it really worked out well. Will it work out as well this year? Time will tell. But anytime you're in the pistol, we can run our whole offense from the pistol so we don't give it away from a formation set. So it'll be interesting to see a number of the adjustments that people will do. I can't tell you exactly what. Okay? Thanks.